cool.
Yes, it's amazing.
My date with Garrett today has been so wonderful. I wouldn't have wanted to do this day and experience this part of Thailand with anyone else. And I'm looking forward to tonight, to sitting down with him and talking more and talking about the future. Welcome.
Oh, yes.
To our little oasis. It was this time last year where Ari and I started having conversations about the future. And he said a lot of things to promise me a future and didn't stand by that. And I don't want that to happen again. And so I hope that Garrett understands the gravity of the situation and how much committing yourself to somebody really means. We're in Thailand.
We're in Thailand.
How many times are we going to say that?
I don't know, a lot.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Well, cheers to not only being in Thailand, but just for such a fun day. It was crazy with all the rafts and the people and the elephants, and I kind of relate it to navigating down the river. It's kind of like a relationship, and so to know that we got there together and we were a team, it meant so much to me. Wouldn't have wanted to do it with anyone else.
Yeah.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to today and to tonight.
Yes. Well, I think I told you before, but I was like, I almost got like cold feet coming into this, like where I almost didn't want to go through it. And I had like this fear just ever since the beginning was just like, and I touched on it earlier.
Just to like be open and put yourself out there? What was it?
Yeah, it was just a fear of being engaged again or getting married again and it not working out. But just from like that initial chemistry and connection and seeing you on the first night when I rolled up in the van and I saw you stand there, I was like, you literally took my breath away. I felt it inside. I was like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. And then the first impression rose came and I was like, what is even going on
Did
right
you
now?
expect that at all?
I did not expect that at all. And then just like the more and more time I spent with you felt so good. And then I think that the fear grew stronger as it like progressed because I realized like how much my feelings for you were growing and how far we were like getting along in the relationship that I did have like the fear of like being engaged and it not working out, you know, and that scared me to death. But I was just like having to face my fears and see like why I was so fearful of it. And for me, I bottle things up and I run things through my head 1,000 times again to make sure it's right. Because I'm not someone to just speak on something and then take it back. I want to make sure that it's 100% right.
I can tell that it's not easy for you at times, but you still try. And if I ask you something, you're still going to give it to me like it is and tell me what you're thinking and feeling. And we understand how serious this is. And I wouldn't want you to say something just to say it. And, you know, last year I wish Ari wouldn't have said some things if he didn't truly mean it and could stand by it. I was actually thinking about this earlier. And yeah, it was this time last year where I had my date with Ari before Fantasy Suites, and we started talking about a future and kind of, well, what I thought was making plans for if I was the last woman here, how our life would look. And I asked the questions, but I didn't get concrete answers on what our life would actually really look like. Because I keep saying I want a partner and I want a teammate and somebody to do life 50-50 with. And I think in Ari's case, he couldn't do that, and it was really me more so fitting into his lifestyle. It wasn't always equal, and so I want to have those conversations because I think it's important to get to the next step in a relationship, just to know if you are the last man standing, like how do you see a future? Yeah,
I've thought of that, but what's awesome like about me is that my career is I can go anywhere. I'm not stuck 100% like in my ways of where I'm living or what I'm doing. So if that supports like your dreams and your goals and what you want after, I would definitely be willing to meet like somewhere in the middle. And I don't know, I just feel like so good about you and I.